Rico here, 18th Avenue Podcast. Welcome. I have a lady here with me. She's going to be answering some questions today. How are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good. What's your name, by the way?
Tamika.
Tamika, let me ask you a question. Why do you think that it's important that black parents reminds the kids that they're beautiful?
Because sometimes they could grow up in society, they portray like other races to be better than the other, well, white. Basically, white is better type of thing, and they're everywhere, and they're everywhere basically. So I think some parents should tell black kids because they don't hear it a lot in society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So. Are you familiar with Chronixx?
No.
What?
Chronixx?
Yeah, Chronixx.
No.
Okay, so Chronixx has this song, right? Like, forgive me, I'm not like a really good singer or anything like that. All right, but it goes like, they never told us that black is beautiful.
Right.
They never told us that black is beautiful.
No.
Anyone ever told you were beautiful?
No. Well, yeah. Who told me?
Who told you?
My mother.
Your mom?
Yeah, my mom, my brother, and my boyfriend.
What else is your mom supposed to tell you?
Well, yeah. Well,
She's your mom. Does that even count?
it does for me.
But can you imagine if your mom was like, yo, she
You're
said
ugly.
something like, yeah, like you ugly, like,
Yeah, no.
can you imagine?
No. You're right. But other people told me I'm beautiful too, but the ones that mean things to me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like your head space, like the fact, because I think it's important, you know, for people to be told that. So why do you think, like, do you think white people go around and be like making songs like that, like they never told us like whitey's beautiful kind of deal? You think?
No, because they never faced that same obstacle as us, because we grew up, I grew up in that where I always saw, like they say, white girls straight here, so when we have black girls that we wear our wigs, we wear our weaves to cover up what they think is what's beautiful, right? And then we became accustomed to covering up who we really are.
Right.
So, in the end, yeah.
So you feel like this issue sort of like date back to colonialism?
Yeah.
Like slavery and everything?
Yeah, it does.
Like we never got those exposure
We
kind of
never
deal?
got exposure to see that we could do everything else. We never knew the black man created the light bulb in school. We never heard about anything good about black people.
Right.
Except for slaves, right?
Okay.
But there's a lot of good things that come out of
What's the craziest thing like you ever heard about a black person? I know your bus is coming in about
Yeah.
the jet. That's cool. What's the craziest thing?
that we went on to space and we created a light bulb. Like all this I never knew until I came to my own high school.
Until you can feel
Yeah.
one. Look, I really want to appreciate you. Are you going to follow the channel?
Yeah, what's the channel called?
I am Rico B.
I am Rico B. Yes.
If you do forget 18th Avenue Podcast, you can't forget.
Okay,
all
will
right.
do. Thank you.
All right, what's your name again? Why is it important to remind all boys and girls of all walks of life that they are beautiful, particularly black children? The ones that are often referred to as the ghetto youths, the vagabond, the young thugs, the ones that grew up in government-subsidized community, the ones you see on the televisions with their pants sagging down and their hats turned backward in police custodies, the ones that have been handpicked by the society to represent an entire race of highly intellectual people, the ones that have fallen victim to a system that does not favor them, the ones that grew up in foster care because their mothers and father were simply not around, the ones that would never see their 18th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 18th Avenue Podcast. Today we have a show for you. You know, I was in the gym like a few days ago and I got really inspired. I was listening to this song, one of my favorite artists. By Chronixx is his name. And this song is called Black is Beautiful. And I got curious after the gym, after my workout, came home, had a nice breakfast. Got some in my system, got a shower, hit the street. And I wanted to know if other people were feeling like I'm feeling. The lyrics of the song was like, they never told us a black is beautiful. They never told us a black is beautiful. Why they never told us a black is beautiful? That's the line that really got me. Why do you think they never told us a black is beautiful? It's crazy. And so I wanted to find out. And so I went to the street. Let's check out the street interview. We'll be right back.
Yes, it is. It's very important. So everyone's unique in their own way, and everyone's like beautiful in their own way. So should be acknowledged.
Have you been told you're beautiful?
Oh yes. So many times, yes.
And who told you you're beautiful?
My boyfriend, my family.
Okay.
Friends, like random people.
And what do you think it does for like a black kid being told from youth that he or she is beautiful? What do you think that does for them?
I think it makes them feel more confident and comfortable with themselves, especially with their like skin color. Then yeah, they have more. It boosts their confidence a lot. It makes them feel really good.
All right. Another question for you. Have you heard about Chronixx? He's Chronixx. He's a Jamaican reggae artist.
Oh no, I have not heard.
You never heard of? Whoa! What kind of black person are you? You never heard of Chronixx?
I'm only like half black, and that's like Barbados.
Oh, you're from Barbados?
No, my dad's from Barbados.
Your father's from Barbados, so you were born here.
Born here, yeah.
You were born here. Do you think that black parents do enough to ensure their children that they can be anything they want to be, and that they can do anything they want to do? I have nieces and nephews. I grew up in a different time, but for them, their parents, the greatest gift that their parents can give them is give them love, caring, compassion, and show them self-confidence. Remind them that they are special and they can do anything. Not just black kids, any kids, all kids from all walks of life, but particularly black children. And the reason I say that is because black people are born into this world disenfranchised. Just right off the back, you're guilty before proven innocent. You're guilty. Every other race get a pass. Every other race get the benefit of the doubt. Not black kids. That's just how things is. So what is confidence? According to the definition, confidence is a state of being certain either that a hypothesis or prediction is correct or the chosen course of action is the best or most effective. Confidence comes from a Latin word, fidere, which means to trust. Therefore, having a self-confidence is having trust in oneself. That's very important to remember that. Having self-confidence is having trust in oneself, not in two selves, in oneself. If you tell a kid and you put confidence in them that they can do stuff, that they don't have to be afraid, they don't have to second guess themselves, you show them the proper love and compassion. You're not yelling at them. We're not talking spoiling. I'm not saying go buy them expensive clothing and expensive toys, but you're giving them the nutrition that they're going to need to grow in tomorrow's society. You give it to them today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a little too late. This is what confidence is. And if you're a parent out there, then you want to pay keen attention. As great of a world we live in today, it is also a very dangerous place to live today. Today, anything goes. There are no rules. There are no boundaries. I mean, there are rules, but the rules only benefits the people, a select few group of people. It doesn't benefit the vast majority. It doesn't benefit the disenfranchised. It doesn't benefit the young thugs of the world. It doesn't benefit that kid that could have used a second chance. And this is why when you go into any prison cell, it doesn't matter what country you go to, the number of black people in any given prison penitentiary surpasses any other race. Because black people are simply disenfranchised from the day that they were born and brought to this earth. Africa, things are different. I mean, if you're in Africa, shoot, you're lucky because, like, everybody's black. You being black, you're not special. You're just another black person. In fact, the way it works, and from what I remember, haven't been back home a long time, from what I remember is that it's your name. In fact, it's your family name, because you care about family name, and your name. That's it. Nobody cares about the color of your skin, how big your nose is, how dark skinned you are, or how light skinned you are. All of that. If we have it, we got it from our history that's told just incorrectly. It's told not to benefit us, but it's told to keep us down, to keep us disenfranchised. That's it. That's all it is. And so, I wanted to find out. I wanted to find out how people felt. And so we will go to the street. And when we come back, we will talk about what it means to be confident. Because I think that's important. I think they're two separate things. I think being confident and practicing confidence are two different things. So when we come back, we'll talk about all that.
Yeah, definitely.
And who told you that?
I mean, just coming up, my mom.
Your mom?
Just coming up, my mom.
Okay, but that's your mom, though. Does that even count?
Yeah, it does. I mean,
Yeah?
it starts when they're young. I mean, if you're not telling anybody when they're young they're beautiful or they're handsome or whatever it is, then they're thinking like, well, you're hearing it from other people. Why am I not getting told that? You know what I mean? So,
Okay,
it definitely starts off when you're young.
You think that set black kids up for success later on in life?
Yeah, confidence. It's all about confidence, man, and that definitely sets them up. I mean, if you have confidence, you can. Well, at least you can feel like you can do anything, man.
That's right.
After that, you got to have the work ethic.
That's right. I can feel like I'm 7 foot tall. Man, how tall are you, first of all, man? What the hell?
6'7", man. 6'7".
Yo, man, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I drunk my milk, I guess. I ate vegetables. That's what happened, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yo, thank you so much for doing this. Can I use this footage for my YouTube podcast?
You can, man. Yes,
Yeah?
sir.
Welcome back. When LL Cool J, mega superstar, ladies love Cool J, otherwise known as. In a recent podcast, though, on the Oprah Winfrey Masterclass, he recounts his childhood. He talks about how his grandparents just show him unconditional love and how they shelter him. They would shelter him from the streets because they didn't want him to get into trouble. So they would shelter him. Like even his whole thing of doing music, like his grandparents, I believe, bought his first equipment just so that he could stay home. He doesn't leave the house and get in trouble. But they supported his idea, supported his dream. There's so many ways that we can show our young ones. We can give them confidence. We can install it in them. You can do it through like getting involved with something they care about. And I know that for most of us, because we come from these different cultural background where, things are done a little differently. Our parents didn't grow up like that. Therefore, they're not going to pass that on to us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to pass it on to us because they simply didn't grow up like that. In the West, it's different. They demonstrate that all the time to their kids. They do that all the time. But some of us have been fortunate enough now to have experienced other culture, and therefore we now know better. I used to read a lot of self-help books. I mean, just anything to get me going. And the one thing that all these books have in common, whether you read the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or you read The Secret, or whatever you read, they all have one common denominator, one common principle. So what is it? It's belief. It's the belief in yourself. That is the principle to preach and push all the time. Is that you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then whatever it is you're after, you're probably not going to get it. But because it comes from, you believe it, you visualize it, you take a pen and paper, you draw it. But where do you get this belief from? Where does Eckhart Tolle get his belief from that he could go on and write a book like The Power of Now, talking about to live in it now and the important to accept it now and the important to check yourself whenever you feel like, check yourself and check your ego whenever you feel like, you're going astray, you're going off the path, you're going off the doctrine, you're going off the teaching. Where did he get it from? Well, he must have gotten it from somewhere. He's got it from his parents. That is from his home, his community. Somebody looked at him and said, you know what? You want to be a writer? You can go on and be a writer. You're going to be the best writer out there that the world has ever seen. It has to come from somewhere. Black kids were not given that. Because one of the things that happened to us is that no matter where we go, what country we go to, whether we speak the language or don't speak the language, one of the things that is inevitable is the pictures, the paint of us. You turn on the TV, you turn on the radio, all you see, some black kids with like baggy jeans on or who's just committed a crime, But let's go to these lyrics because this is where all of this is coming from. They never told us that black is beautiful. Why they never told us that black is beautiful? So I'm going to read like something here from Chronixx lyrics. Again, the song is called Black is Beautiful. Today I will sing you a black song. You need to hear about beautiful black things because most time we hear about black magic and black witches, black list, black book, black market, Black Friday. I have never seen a doctor in black, nor have I seen a black pill kill black people. What he says up there, we hear about black magic. Black magic is the, when they paint a picture of black people, it's always criminal related. That's the black magic he's talking about. The black witches, the criminal, where somebody broke into a store, a black guy, a black man commit murder with dangerous species. These are the kind of things that we hear all the time. So when you put that kind of message out there and you put that kind of rhetoric out there, some of us are soon going to start to believe it because remember, we're talking confidence here, right? If we're not getting it from our mother and we're counting on the people who tell our stories to tell our stories and they decide on how to tell our stories, then whatever they're telling, we have to believe. We have to suck that up. Whatever they're telling us becomes us, whether or not we believe it or not. And a lot of us succumb to that. We fall into that. But we need to control that. And that has to start from home. It can't start from the streets. Nobody's going to care for your child like you would. Not saying everybody. Sometimes there's that odd person who comes along like Ella Cool J. So back to Ella Cool J. His mother was adopted by his grandparents, but he didn't notice that he was much, much, much older. But they took her in and they raised her like her own. So that happens as well. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen. But as parents, as mothers, as fathers, you have to feed your kids the right nutrients that they're going to need for tomorrow. The word is different once you get in there. Let's go to more interview. We'll be right back. That is important for black boys and girls to know that they're beautiful.
It will bring up their confidence. It'll make them like. It'll also make them more proud. Like it'll make them more proud of themselves, like of their culture and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you think that black parents do a good job at telling their kids that they're beautiful?
I think most of the time they're pretty good, but sometimes I feel like they're not as good at showing like affection and telling them that they're beautiful. Right. I don't know, just from experience and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been told that you're beautiful?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. And who told you you were beautiful?
Parents, friends. Okay. Yeah.
So parents, you mean like your mother or something?
Yeah, your mom.
But doesn't mothers always think that their kids are beautiful anyway?
So, yeah. I feel like when parents say it doesn't mean as much as when a random person tells you that or a friend tells you.
Okay, so it's almost better for a random person to tell you that you're beautiful than parents?
Because I feel like your parents they'll never find you ugly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Where do you think this idea of, by the way, there's an artist, and that's why this podcast is called Black is Beautiful. There's an artist by the name of Chronixx, and he sings this song. I'm not a very good singer, but it goes like, they never told us. You got to rock with me. You got to pretend like I'm a good singer. Okay. Like, they never told us That black is beautiful. They never told us that black is beautiful. And that's kind of like where this idea comes from, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that other race should also tell the kids that they're beautiful as well?
I think so, but I feel like black people are like discriminated against like the most, so that I think that they should hear it like more, because like I feel like if they hear it from like a young age, then they'll be like more confident. And if like a white person wants to tell them, oh, like you're ugly, or why's your hair like that, or whatever, then they won't like be hurt.
Okay.
So then, yeah.
That's perfect. I want to thank you so much for your time. And to have confidence, it means to be in full trust, to be self-reliance, self-assurance, to be self-confidence. Because anyone who lacks confidence has already been defeated. They've defeated themselves. And so if you don't have that confidence from home, you've already defeated yourself, or your parents at worst have defeated you in ways that they can't even imagine. The confidence starts from home. Anyone with confidence will always go on to do things and achieve things because they're not afraid. And we need to change the rhetoric of how we're being perceived in the world. It's our responsibility. I mean, when you're a kid, the only people you can count on to teach you what's right, what's wrong are your parents and your environment later on. So the parents have a greater responsibility to really want to get involved. And I know, like, you know, you're busy, you got to work, but at some point you want to stop. So one of the things that I want to include in this podcast is a segment called Freak of the Week. And basically it's like Donkey of the Day, but this is the first time we're going to be running it. So if you have a better name for it, we can always change the name. But let's get into it. The Freak of the Week goes out to Massachusetts woman Micheal Carter. Micheal Carter back in 2014 encouraged her boyfriend to kill himself. That is crazy. She encouraged this guy to kill himself, take his life. And all of this went down while she's on the phone with him. At one point, he decides he doesn't want to go through with it because it's gotten so real now. And she tells him to get back in the truck and go through with it. And she stayed on the phone with him and watched that man and listened to that man mourn in pain and kill himself, took his life. This happened, as I said, back in 2014. That is sick. You know, when a person comes to you for help, you're supposed to stop everything you're doing. Listen to them. Listen to them. That's it. So stop what you're doing. Listen to them. And then send them in a direction where they can get professional help. Do that. Send them in a direction where they can get professional help. You don't tell them, oh, well, here's the gun. Go take your life. You don't say, oh, yeah, here's the knife. You know, go take your life. That is sick. And you know what's even crazy? The system don't make any sense. So this woman, like I said, it happened in 2014, right? So she went to jail. She served a 15 months manslaughter sentence. 15 months. This is a woman who encouraged another person taking their life. At the time, they were both they were young. They were like 17 and 18. I don't know what the freak these 17 and 18-year-old be up to, but that's some crazy stuff. I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, you could tell somebody, oh, yeah, you want to kill yourself? Sure, let me show you a different method. Go ahead and do it. It's absolutely sick. This person deserves, you know, she's 23 now, and I think it's too short. It's too short of a time. It's 15 months in jail for assisting in taking another life. That's not enough. That's not justice. Anyway, she is our freak of the day. Massachusetts woman. I will have the link down below in the bio so you can look her up. And I will also have a photo on the screen. I don't know if I have the right to use that or not, but that's the freak of the week. We live in a very dangerous world. More reason why black parents need to pay closer attention to their kids. You have to, because you have crazy people like Micheal Carter running around. So if your mind is weak and you come across Micheal, guess what she's going to tell you? Go take your life. She doesn't care. If anything, she goes and serve another, what is it, 15 months? That's not even like a year and a half? Not even a year and a half. She goes serve 15 months, and under 2 years, she's out again, looking for her next victim. Black kids need to be told that they're beautiful. And you are beautiful. You need to start believing that. You need to believe it. Your parents need to tell you. And if you're hanging around with people that don't see what you see, don't hang around with them. It's as simple as that. If people have different belief system than you do, there are like some variants of belief system that are good, and then there are like some that are like just not cool. So if your belief system is a little off, or your friend's belief system is a little off, and it just can't come together, then there's no point. You need to cut your losses and find friends that will elevate you and put you in position where you can go on to meet and do bigger and better things. Because to be honest with you, we live in a crazy time. This is an entirely different world than what my mother or my father or your father and our parents grew up in. This is different. There was a time when the community, when you could have the child and the community raised the child. That's not the same anymore. It's all crazy now. And we have to do everything we can to protect our nephews, our nieces, our brothers and sisters. And parents just need to do a better job, need to pay closer attention. Like I said, the black man is put into this world disenfranchised. No matter where we go, whether we go to Asia, you stay in North America, the only place you can go where you're not guilty before proven innocent. In fact, you're innocent before proven guilty, and it actually does apply, is Africa. Anywhere else around the world you go, you are guilty before proven innocent. That's just how it is. You don't have to be sour about it. You don't need to be bitter about it. But that's just how it is. And some of us don't go through it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you don't experience it does not mean that it doesn't exist. It does exist. We see it every day. But not everybody's going to experience it. We're not all going to win the lottery. That's crazy stuff, right? But you will hear that people are winning the lottery. So with that, you can't say that it's not happening. It's not so. It's not true. But more so, the one thing that we can all agree on is that no matter where you are in this world, no matter where you go, no matter who you meet, no matter what TV station you're watching, the picture of the black man and woman is the most dehumanizing thing you will ever see. It doesn't matter where you go. You're in the States, you stay here, in Canada, wherever. Once it pops up, it's the most dehumanizing thing you will watch. It's disgusting. It's and we say, oh, we live in such a better society today. What better society? Better society for who? You can't tell me we live in a better society today when the same people that created the society are the same people that are still benefiting from the society they created. The ones that are disenfranchised are still like trying to figure things out. So if you're saying we live in a better society today, you're implying that everyone is at the same playing field. But that's not so. Because if this is the case, then the mere fact that I should even consider doing a podcast on why it's important for black parents to remind their black kids that they're beautiful, that they can reinsure them, show them love, compassion, and fuel them up with confidence that they can go out there and do what they want to do. And a lot of the time when a black person have confidence, the other side say, oh, he's arrogant. You see, they even sometimes try to get you on this whole idea that if you have confidence, you're arrogant. But having confidence and being arrogant are two separate things. You can have confidence and you can have arrogance all at the same time. These are two separate things. But there is that thing that they don't want you to win kind of deal. That's that mentality that, let's figure out another rhetoric to hit them with. But we live in a different time now. We do. And I think that every disenfranchised kid should be told that they are special by their parents. It has to start there. I've met white kids that were disenfranchised, right? I met black kids that were disenfranchised. Everywhere you go, you're going to find disenfranchised kids. But they need to be told from youth so that they can make a better decision when they come up in the real world. Because the real world, honestly, they don't give a crap about anything. All they see is dollar sign. That's it. The real world see dollar sign. If you can make me money, great. Take a picture, an image of you, and make a billboard out of it and put it everywhere. And tell the whole world you're great for the moment. As long as you're making me money, though. Because the moment you stop making me money, I'm destroying you. And it's easy to do when a certain group of people already have that negative energy out there. Like black people, myself. Where I walk the street, a lady sees me, chances are she's going to clutch her to her purse, right? Or even cross the street out of fear that I might do something to her. It's easy to destroy a man's character when there's so much out there already, information out there about that man. You can't destroy a stranger's character because you don't know them. You don't. You simply don't know them. So you can't destroy their characters. But for black people, it's been like that from time. It's been like that from slavery. It's been like that from colonialism. That's how slavery started in the first place. Certain men, a few men, took upon themselves and said, you know what? We're going to tell our people these lies. We are going to tell our people this lie, and they're going to believe it. And when they believe it, we are going to go across the planet and grab people that don't look anything like us and bring them here and have them work as slaves. That's what happened. It's as simple as that. But we live in a different time now. We don't live in a slave time anymore. If they can put out more negativity out, you got to remember, negativity sells. Negativity sells. So it's up to us to do what's right now so that we're not chasing our tail later on and trying to fix whatever else that they're going to put out there for our kids. Whether you're black, you're light skinned, you have afro, nappy hair, you have long straight hair, whatever you have, embrace it. You got to remember, beauty, human being made beauty a physical attribute. But when God created the world, his idea of beauty had nothing to do with how you look outside. Like, has nothing to do with your physical attribute. It has nothing to do with your physical attribute. So whether you have long hair or you have short hair, you're tall, you're short, why do you think they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder? They know what they were doing. Know that you're beautiful and believe that you're beautiful, because that's going to take you places you've never been. If you get stuck on the idea that there is something wrong with you, you have lost everything and have gained nothing. All the ghetto youths, the disenfranchised youths, the one with the baggy jeans and the throwback hats, the ones that can't go to the store without somebody following them around, the ones that get the police called up on them when they're just sitting in Starbucks, the ones that can't even barbecue in the park without some white person calling police on them, the ones that police respond to a call at night after the neighbor make the phone call and they get shot and gunned down by the police in their own home. The one that a white lady can just walk into your apartment while you're sitting there relaxing, having popcorn, watching movies, and she can just take out a gun and shoot you and say that, hey, you know what? It was a mistake. I thought it was my apartment. The ones that get pulled over for traffic violation and wind up dead. Everyone that's the ones that get choked in the middle of the street over a pack of cigarette. This is for you. Know that you're something special. Know that whatever environment you're in now is just temporary. Know that you can go on. You can come out of that environment. You can do better. Wherever you are, you can do better. You just have to keep pushing. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till you're dead. And as long as you're breathing, you got to push. You have to keep pushing for it. Now, as I said, this ain't got all that to do with other race. I made it specifically about blacks. But at the same time, the message is universal, that every kid, anyone who is disenfranchised in this world, This is for you. Don't listen to them. Their history is false. The news is fake. Everything about it is lie. Everything about it is a lie. It's all propaganda. It's all a money-making scheme. That's all it is. If there was no profit in it, people weren't buying into it, believe me. But they know they have the crowd, they have the population that will buy into that nonsense and that believe that nonsense. And therefore, it makes them money. So they're going to keep putting out all the lies out there. When you look at African history, everything they told you about African history is entirely a lie. All of it is lies. Not one that is true. So what they give you in exchange is they lie to you and then they steal it. That's it. It's as simple as that. So remember, you're something special. You are here. You're special. I'm special. Everyone is special. Let's watch another video and we'll come back with our closing. Hey guys, what's going on? We're gonna be a podcast over here.
I think it's important because for many years, for centuries, we have been conditioned to feel that we're not beautiful. We've been told that even like our hair is nappy, and people don't know what the word nappy means. If you look in the dictionary, nappy means ugly, unkept. So when we say things like that, we condition our minds and we tell our kids, oh, you have nappy hair. So things like that, like even the words we say to each other. So it's important to constantly remind Black kids that they're beautiful. Give them black dolls so they can see that there's beauty in even the objects that we buy as well. So,
okay. Have you been told that you're beautiful?
I have been told that I'm beautiful.
Okay. Who told you were beautiful?
The first person who ever told me that I was beautiful was my mother. She instilled confidence in me.
But that's your mother, though.
That's my mom.
Does that count? Because can you imagine if your mother said otherwise? It's just like, yo, you're ugly. Like, can you imagine that?
You know what? It would still have it won't have the same effect. It will just be the opposite effect. So if my mom told me that I was ugly, it will still have an effect on my self-esteem as it does if she told me that I am beautiful. Okay. So it is important that you learn confidence, education from the home. Okay. That's the most important thing. Every now and then I'll hear like guys will tell me I'm beautiful every now and then, but it's something that comes from me mainly. I have to tell myself constantly that I'm beautiful, because irrespective of what you see on society, where there's a preference for lighter skin or straighter nose, you have to have that mental toughness in your mind and tell yourself that you are beautiful. So regardless what you see out there, it doesn't even matter, because you already have that self-confidence. Okay. I think you're beautiful. Oh, thank you.
Now it's your turn to return the favor. You got to tell me I'm beautiful now.
I think you're hot. You're handsome.
All right. That's pretty good. So, final question.
Okay.
What would be your advice? Like, oh, by the way, here's where this is all coming from. So, I was in the gym this morning, and I was listening to my playlist, and there's an artist on there, Jamaican reggae artist. His name is Chronixx.
Okay.
Have you heard of him?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Finally, somebody like real black right here. Like all these other people were like off black. They don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, he has this one song. I'm not a good singer, by the way, but it goes something like, they never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us that black is beautiful. And so I got inspired. I was like, yo, I should do a podcast about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. Do you think like this is a good social issue to have a podcast on and be able to?
I think it's an absolutely fantastic, inspiring podcast. I think we need to have people like yourself and other people who instill confidence in Black people, let them know that they are more than just their history, right? We are kings and queens even prior to slavery. We have such a rich history, and I think if we start from there, from our rich history, from the beginning of time, I think that will be the start to knowledge of self and self-confidence, and change society's norms and change the ideology of what is beautiful. Because you know, there's little black girls out there. I never had it growing up. I never really seen that much, like, confident. I didn't have that much confidence, but you know, as you get older, times are changing, and there's
you start
people
not
like
to
yourself.
care, not
I'm
so
starting
much.
Not to care.
You're just like, yo, I don't care, whatever.
Yeah, but I think where it started for me, it was having knowledge and learning our history before slavery, where I started to see the beauty in black people.
Okay. Look, I want to thank you so much, sister.
Thank you.
I found this piece of work online. It's not my work, but I want to share it with you guys. I believe it's by a gentleman by the name of Javier Muñoz. Probably say his name wrong, but I will have the description down below so you can check him out and whatnot. And it reads as follows. Being black does not decide my heart. Being brown does not make up my mind. Being white does not decide who I am inside. To know me, you have to learn me, for my skin is a part of me, but it is not everything of who I am. Do not be surprised when you see that I don't let the color of my skin determine who I am, for who I am is who I decide to be. Finally, black parents, please empower your children. Empower them with love, care, and confidence. An undeniable belief system that they can be whatever they dream. Empower them so that they don't fall in the hands of police. Empower them so that they don't fall in the hands of guns violence. They don't fall in the hands of drugs violence. They don't fall in the hands of prostitutions. I'd like to thank everybody for rocking with me. Tune in next week.